Awesome. All right, so glad that you're joining us. Like she said, my name is Babs Hughes. I am the program coordinator at OC Tech's Early Care and Education program. I have been in the education field for, wow, almost 15 years now. I was a first and second grade teacher for many years. I've been in administration, and I'm happy to be here at OC Tech, kind of helping further that early childhood field along even more. So first I'm going to talk about why someone might be interested in being in the early childhood field. Like this beautiful picture says, it takes a big heart to shape little minds. There's truly no profession that can impact your community, that can impact the future, the life of little people more than working with children during their most formidable years. For people who aren't familiar, early childhood is considered up until a child is 8 years old, so from birth through about third grade. And research says those are the times when children's minds are shaped the most, when the adults that are in a child's life make the biggest impact. And so our goal here is to help make sure all those experiences for little people are as positive and meaningful as they can be. And so we want to help produce a workforce that can really be there to shape the little minds in our Orangeburg and surrounding areas. So these are just a few of the headlines that have been floating around lately, because quality childcare, I think, has become really evident to people that it's more important than ever. A lot of people were spending a lot of time home with their very young children as COVID closed everything down and people were forced to work from home. And so I think it's become more and more evident over the past few months that quality care is really important. And there's a lot of talk about even considering early care and child development centers as essential businesses, because we know that essential workers can't go into their jobs in the hospitals or wherever if they don't have quality care for their young children. So it's a really great time to join a field because, again, there's a lot of demand for that quality care, and it's a job that hopefully, even with any potential future shutdowns, who knows what the future may bring, there's a likelihood that those are going to be positions that are able to remain among the workforce. So what are some of the career opportunities that are available through our associate's degree here at OC Tech? Employment opportunities include things like working as a teacher in any early childhood development center, working as a teacher's aide in a public school system, or starting your own child development center. And we'll talk a little bit more about what courses, what experiences we provide that would make you feel comfortable taking on any of those different career opportunities. So what are some things you could expect as an early childhood student at OC Tech? So we try really hard to make sure our students have a really solid foundation in early childhood knowledge. So one of the first courses you'll take is an introduction to early childhood. It's a really broad overview, and it actually kind of touches on a lot of these topics that will come next in your course of study. Then we go through growth and development. That's actually 2 courses. So the first course in growth and development will address the growth and development of children up until age 3. And then the second piece of that course goes children who are from ages 4 to 8. We look at all areas of domain of children's development, physical, cognitive, emotional, social, and we talk about how children grow and change so much over those years. We spend a lot of the courses you'll take teach teachers how to be able to introduce material to young children. So we have a course that's just about language arts and how to teach children those different literacy skills. We have a course about science and math concepts. The great thing about a lot of these classes is we try to include as many hands-on topics as we can. We try to make class really interesting. Our classrooms at OC Tech are filled with early childhood materials. We have lots of puppets and children's books and manipulatives and things to give students the experience of being able to engage with those materials like they would in an early childhood classroom. There is an entire class dedicated to guidance and classroom management. Managing the behavior of young children is one of the biggest obstacles that some teachers face. So we decided that we needed to provide a whole course that was just about that. Again, being able to relate to families and the community needs is another course as well. We also teach about health, safety, and nutrition for young children and what that looks like in an early childhood classroom. We look at creative experiences, so how to bring the arts into early childhood classrooms, different methods and materials that can be used to enhance children's learning, exceptional children, so how to meet the needs of children who might learn a little differently. We look at the principles of ethics and leadership, because ethics is a part of a teacher's day-to-day decision-making. And then we also have what we call our capstone course, which is supervised field experience. And when we talk about field experiences, we do provide a lot of hands-on opportunities in the local early childhood fields. So several of those classes that I just mentioned have lab components. Some of our classes, they are in local child development centers. Other of the classes are in public schools. Like I said, our degree, when you finish, gives you the option of where you would like to work. So we like to make sure that you have kind of a broad array of experiences depending on which field placement you would eventually like to do. So we try to make sure you have as much real life experience as possible. So when it's time for you to actually go into the workforce and get a job, you feel really comfortable in classrooms because you've spent a lot of time in those classrooms during your course of study here at OC Tech. So in addition to those early childhood courses, we also have some general ed courses. We truly believe that teachers should be well-rounded in their knowledge base, so these courses reflect that. The other good thing about these courses is that most of them are transferable. So if you decided one day after you finish this course of study, you wanted to go back and get a 4-year degree at somewhere else, a lot of these courses would transfer with you, which is a great thing. So some other courses are things like college skills, introduction to computers. Our ECD classes are all hybrid classes, which I'll talk about in a second. So we felt really strongly that because the computer skills are such a big part of the way that we teach, we wanted to make sure you have a firm foundation in being able to use the computer correctly. English composition, as well as a music or art appreciation course. Again, music and art are huge parts of working with young children, so we wanted to make sure you had some background in that. A beginning math course, a psychology course, because again, so much of brain development goes into being knowledgeable as a teacher. Biology, a principles of management course, which provides you the options, especially if you're going to ever go into business for yourself. It gives you a little bit of that business background to make you feel comfortable if you wanted to open your own child care facility one day. Public speaking, because that's basically what teaching young children is speaking in front of groups at all time. And then we also do an employability skills course right at the end that will help you with things like interviewing and resume writing. So altogether, that equals about 68 credit hours. Like I mentioned, one of the most important, one of the key things, one of the most wonderful things about our program is that we like to say we are the most flexible on campus. So every one of our ECD courses is a flex class. So whenever these courses are listed in our catalog, they have an X at the end because they are flexible. So what that means is that for every ECD class, there's a morning section and an evening section. So students who sign up for that section can decide whether they need to come to the morning or the evening, and they can change that from week to week. So let's say you normally come to class on Monday morning, but you wake up Monday morning and your child is sick, or you wake up Monday morning and you have a flat tire and you can't make it to class. That doesn't mean you're out of class for the week. You can just choose to go to the night section instead. Or if you are in a family where people are working swing shifts and your hours change from week to week, the way that we schedule them is that you can either come to morning or evening, but you don't have to be dedicated to one or the other. You can bounce back and forth as much as you need. And then the other half of all of our courses are then offered online. So, excuse me, not offered online, they are online. So you come to class one day a week for each class, and then the other half of the class is online for that week. Well, what that means is you are expected to have a computer, a laptop, to be able to complete that online portion. But the really great thing about that is that it is built into as part of our program. So anybody who's using financial aid to purchase books or things can purchase that through the bookstore if they need it. We also try to schedule those in a block scheduling, which means that students can come onto campus and take all of their early childhood classes in either one morning or one evening of the week, because we know people are busy and we want to make sure that we're utilizing their time the best that we can. That's just the ECD classes, and then the general education courses usually are offered in a variety of methods anyway, so you can take those online, morning, evening, whatever works best for your schedule. We also decided that since our program is 68 semester hours, We were going to spread it over 5 semesters just to make the course load each semester a little more doable, and set our students up for success. And in addition to the degree program, we also have diploma and certificate options for those that need them. We really encourage students to go for the full degree. It just opens a few more opportunities and a few more doors for students. But if something happens, if life happens, and for some reason you aren't able to complete those, we don't want you to walk away and feel like you've, dedicated 3 semesters of your life and you have nothing to show for it. We do have those diploma and certificate options out there for you as well. Some other program benefits is that we do have smaller class sizes, so you get to know your instructors really well. I think that's a great thing. Some of my students might disagree, but we are one big happy family in the early childhood program. That also means that your teachers are your advisors. So again, you get to know us really well. When you need something, it's easy to get in touch with us because we see you all day anyway. We also try to make sure our classes are hands-on, full of relevant experiences. People walk by and want to know what in the world are they doing in the ECD class, because we're always doing things that we think are going to be relevant or that teachers could recreate in their own classrooms one day. Also, all the different lab placements that students do is a great chance to connect with potential employers. We very, very, very often hear of people being hired by individuals that are places where they were doing their lab experiences. So it's just a great opportunity to network. They already have a little preview of what you're like while you're doing your lab hours there. So it usually works out well. Our program also has an articulation agreement with Columbia College. So if for some reason you decided you wanted to go back and get your 4-year degree, all those classes will transfer to Columbia College. And our program is NAEYC accredited. NAEYC stands for the National Association for the Education of Young Children. That is kind of the gold star accrediting agency for our field. And we are NAEYC accredited, which means that our courses will transfer to any other NAEYC accredited institution. Some other opportunities out there, especially for people who are already working in the early childhood field. We already have the night classes that make returning back for additional education easier if you're already in the workforce. But if you're already working in the early childhood field, there are lots of different incentives out there to encourage you to return and continue that education. One of those are scholarships that are available through Teach South Carolina, which is part of SC Endeavors. So they do provide scholarships for people who are already in the workforce and wish to continue their education. Additionally, through our program, our students that successfully complete the courses earn different credentials through SC Endeavors. So we earn level 1, level 2, level 3 credentials. What that means is for people who then become employed by a DSS certified facility, which the vast majority of childcare facilities are, they are then eligible to earn what is known as smart money bonuses, which could equal up to $1,300. So if you're working in childcare now, there are people who will help pay for you to come back and get your education. And then once you get it, they will give you money for completing the courses, which is a really great thing. Another credential that you earn through the courses at OC Tech is the preparation for CPR and first aid certification, which is something that you will be expected to have upon employment anyway. And then finally, just some ways to get more information about the program. Most everything that I mentioned today is available under our OC Tech website, under Early Care and Education, under the Teacher Education page. But then in addition to that, I'm always here with questions and to answer questions that you might need. So this is my phone number, my email address. I am not working from campus at the moment, but I promise you I am working. And if you call that number or you email me, I will get back with you shortly. And I would love to be of any assistance that you may need.